Hey, Ben here with H90 Productions, and I am back with another update on what's happening with H90. This is going to be a little bit of a different format. Previously, when I have been doing these update videos, I've been recording them on my phone and posting them to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and I've been recording them vertically. And there's like usually a time limit on those things, and I'll have to like edit them down and kind of rehearse the update a little bit. And I wanted to try something a little different just to open it up and make it a little more free form. So I'm this is, I guess, episode 1 of this series that I'm calling right now the Captain's Log, just to have a little fun with it. But these are going to be the update videos. And the whole purpose of this video series is to provide quick updates on what's happening with H90 Productions. And right now, those 2 main projects I'm working on are within the Mango audio drama series world, Mango 2 and Mango 1. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. The format and structure of these videos is just going to be a little intro, kind of like how I did just now. The meat of the episode will be the updates, and then I'll talk about what's happening next. And the idea is not to edit this, so that is a little terrifying, but we're going to see how it goes. Even like right there, I'm like, oh, I probably would edit that out normally. But you know what? Let's just roll with it here. So that is kind of one of the beautiful things about H90 and this channel and everything I'm doing here, we're doing here. It's kind of learning as you go and evolving and just trying to have some fun with it. So let's get into the update. So first I want to talk about Mango 2. And I'm going to do a little recap since this is kind of like the first episode of this series. I want to take it back to maybe the beginning of the year and just kind of provide a little update on what's happened. So maybe, you know what, I'll take it a little bit farther back into 2024. So a year ago at this time, actually in April 2024, I started writing Mango 2. And later that year, the fall of 2024, I went into pre-production, which the bulk of that was casting. And then in January of 2025, we went into production on Mango 2, which if you are new here, the Mango audio drama series is exactly that. It's an action-packed audio drama series that follows the adventures of a character named Johnny Mango. And it's very action forward. It's kind of a throwback to 80s, 90s action movies, which are some of my favorite genre of films. And there's a whole video series on our YouTube channel right now called Inside Mango Dead Series. So if you really want to dive deep into the backstory, I highly recommend checking out that series. That will be part of my update on Mango 1. But continuing forward with Mango 2, January, we finished production. January we started principal recording, and then we wrapped that in February. When we wrapped physical production in February, I jumped immediately into post-production, and I started editing the dialogue. I almost said dialogue editing, but I think dialogue editing, technically speaking, is when you're cleaning up dialogue in the mixing process. So I'm going to say editing. I started editing, but I'm only editing with the dialogue. And I worked on that in February and March and completed the editing of the dialogue of everything I had recorded with the actors in January and February. So what I did was actually, there's a little bit, I'm working on it as we speak, actually. I am working in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I made sequences, timelines for each scene. And there's 54 scenes in Mango 2. So scene 1 took all the dialogue, laid it in there real loosely, like basically a rough cut just to kind of have the takes I liked of the dialogue. And I did that for all of the dialogue that we had recorded from the other actors. What I did next, and this is something I don't talk about a lot, I should probably talk about it more, but it's the next thing I did was I recorded all stuff for Mango. I am the voice of Johnny Mango. And if you're wondering why I'm the voice of Johnny Mango, again, check out that Inside Mango Dead Serious series that's on the H90 Productions YouTube channel in the writing and development video, which is the first video in that series. I talk about why I decided to voice this character. I am not like a voice actor by any means, but I felt like it was the right choice to finish the project, which is always the ultimate goal. So I'm going to start talking about voicing Mango a little bit more. I haven't been talking about that much. Big reason for that is I don't want to take attention away from all the other amazing voice actors who are, actually actors in this project who are just really amazing. And there are interviews with the wonderful cast in that Inside Mango Dead Serious series. So definitely check that out. But the reason I'm mentioning all the dialogue from the other actors that I laid out into all the sequences and timelines for each scene was because that helped me record the stuff for Mango. And what I mean by that is I recorded right here, actually. I can swing this mic right, boom. I recorded right here and my editing station is right here. So I would queue up the scenes with the dialogue that had been edited with the other actors, and I would use that to work off of while I was recording the stuff for Mango. The reason I did that is because I'm doing this on my own. I don't have a director here, and that really helped me play off their performances. And when we recorded Mango 2 at the studio, the actors were able to work with me as they had a director there and I was feeding them lines. I was playing the role of Mango. So they were able to work off of me in a way. We did do a lot of stuff kind of as a series or ABC. We did a lot of repetition. And again, I'm gonna tee that. I'm gonna refer back to that video series again, but Inside Mango Dead Series, I talk about why we recorded that way. So that helped me, having all the edits put together helped me record all the stuff for Mango. So I finished recording all the stuff for Mango. And I actually also finished adding all of Mango's dialogue into, oh, this thing's whipping around. Is this thing following me? See, this is real time. So yeah, see, interesting. It must be a voice command. This is actually a relatively new camera here. It's an Insta360 web camera. I'm pretty stoked about the image quality, but I set it to lock it on me. I didn't want the camera following me around. So there must be a voice command that I said that unlocked that and it started following me around. It's not following me around now, right? Okay, great. So back to catching you up on what we've done so far through March and April. I finished adding all this dialogue stuff from Mango into the scenes, and there's 54 scenes in this thing. So I'm very excited to say at this point right now, I'm going to be moving into the sound design stage of Mango 2. And I'm being very careful not to say the title of Mango 2 because that's going to be part of a reveal process that happens down the line here. More to come on that. But very excited to be moving into sound design. Now, we are definitely not done with recording everything we need. I mentioned principal recording in the beginning because that's exactly what it was. Principal recording. There's definitely going to be pickups. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to record pickups after I have done some sound design and laid in some music, just so I am very certain and sure of what I need from the actors for the pickup session, because I really only want to do that once. I could do a session now, lay that dialogue stuff in, and then do another pickup session to really hammer home stuff that isn't working or stuff we need to add. But I really want to just do one more pickup session with the actors. So I'm choosing to wait until sound design is mostly complete. I'm not going to wait until I'm like polishing sound design. But a little bit about the sound design process. I was imagining this video is going to be about 10 minutes. I'm hitting the 10-minute mark right now. So maybe this first one's going to be a little bit longer with the extra recap. So bear with me if you're still here. I am impressed. This is maybe a little bit for me too, to just wrap my head around what's going on. But the first steps with sound design. So I have these 54 scenes with rough dialogue laid in. And now I'm going to be adding sound effects and music to kind of figure out the pacing and timing. This is another thing I talk about in the Inside Mango Dead Serious series is why sound design and music composition impacts my edit, which means I am editing, sound designing, and adding music. I don't want to say music composition. I'm not composing music. I'm adding music in. I'm doing that all at the same time. Usually you'll lock your edit. So in this case, I would lock the dialogue and then add in sound effects around it. But for me, in Mango 1, Mango Dead Serious, which is available to listen to right now, wherever you follow fiction podcasts, in case you're new here. And if you are new here and you're still listening, tip of the cap. I learned on Mango 1 that the sound design and music composition significantly impacted my edit and was driving the decisions I was making while I was editing. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. So for example, scene 1, this is going to be a little reward. If you've been listening this whole time, this is a little spoiler for Mango 2. I haven't released the title for Mango 2. I haven't talked about the storyline, but scene 1 in Mango 2 starts with Mango and Summer. And if you've listen to Mango Dead Serious, that's kind of a big deal because that's a big part of the storyline. No more spoiler alerts, but scene 1 is a is a scene exterior out in the woods by a campfire. So I have the dialogue laid in, but there's no sound effects. So I need to bring it to life with sound effects. So I already know that I need fire crackling, a campfire, maybe some crickets to signal that it's nighttime, maybe a little breeze through the trees. Now, I know right now that I have all of that from Mango Dead Serious. And these are things I think about when I'm writing the scene. I'm thinking about it visually for sure, like what would it look like if we were watching this, but I'm definitely more so thinking about what it sounds like. So for scene 1, I need these sound effects. I have these sound effects in my sound library, so I don't have to do my shopping stage. The shopping stage is when I don't have the sound effects. I will make a list for the scene of effects that I don't have, and then I go shopping. I go to a sound effects platforms like Sound Dogs, Audio Jungle, Soundly, and I go shopping for sound effects that I want to use, and I pull those into my sound effects library, and I'm doing this scene by scene. I kind of like doing that way. I found I like doing that way on Mango Dead Serious because as I moved through scene 1, scene 2, as I moved forward linearly, is that a word? Linearly. As I move forward chronologically, I found that like I'm the sound effects that I'm purchasing and bringing in, I kind of like, I'll have them for later scenes since I have them for earlier scenes. It kind of works that way. I guess it's not really important to do that. I just like working that way because I can. It kind of like keeps things in order in my mind, which obviously, if you're still watching this, is very scrambled at times. So that's the next step is roughly laying in all the sound effects for each scene, which includes music. Music is very important here too, because that also affects timing. And I've mentioned this in the Inside the Mango Dead Serious series, particularly in the editing and sound design video. I'll try to put links up here. I'm not sure if I really didn't want to edit this video. Actually, no, that's something I can do in YouTube. I'll do this. I'll do this to mark visually where I need to add a link. But music composition, since I'm not having a composer come in afterwards, the tracks I'm selecting from Audio Jungle, Sound Dogs, Epidemic Sounds, another sound music platform I use. I'm using those tracks in my final edit. I could maybe think about having a composer come in down the line, but I really like the idea of this project being very DIY. It's not that I'm never going to be using music composers. I just think for this project, doing it DIY and trying to do as much as I can on my own really works. It also keeps budget and resources, it makes that more efficient. So anyway, with the music, I'm looking for songs and tracks that fit the vibe. And a lot of the times, because of how the track is composed, that's what will help drive the scene. Like if there's a big moment in the music track, for instance, if there's an action scene and it kind of ends on a really nice note, that might be kind of how the scene ends when I'll drop a line of dialogue to fit the music. So maybe a little bit different than how you would traditionally edit or sound design or add music into a film edit. But that is the next step. Sound design, adding music is probably going to take months. This is something I maybe should have mentioned at the top of this. H90 Productions is like my passion project. I have a day job. I work in video production. I work on a marketing team. And I do this on weekends. It's right now, it's Sunday, April 27th. I think I was supposed to mention that at the beginning of the video, but I did not. But it is a weekend. I do this weekend warrior style. This is like my dream, my passion. This is something I get to kind of do whatever I want with. Gosh, I kind of forget where I was going with that. I was talking about how long this is going to take. And that's why it's going to take for me to finish the sound design and music composition part of this, probably, a few months. I don't even want to put, a hard date on it. But yeah, it's going to take a few months to feel good about the sound design and the music, which then will unlock my pickup rounds for audio, for voiceover recording with the actors, because at that point I will feel really good about what's working and what's not working. I already know there's some stuff I need to pick up with an actor that's not working. If you're listening to this, one of the actors that's, I'm not going to name names, but there's going to be a significant pickup round for one of the actors, another actor who's a lead. We just didn't get around to recording a bunch of their stuff in principal recording just because it was taking longer to get through the rest of the stuff. So there's, long story short, definitely going to have pickup stuff coming down the pipe, which will be another update video. So I think that kind of wraps it up for Mango 2, the update on Mango 2. That was a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I think this first one, I'm kind of feeling it out. I'm not going to edit this. I really don't want to edit this. Something else on Mango 2 I've been working on is I have a couple release dates in mind, and I've worked backwards from those dates. There's an aggressive date and there's a more realistic date, for lack of better words. And I've worked back from those dates thinking about the pre-release plan and post-release plan, which has significantly determined what needs to happen with editing timelines and then creating promotional assets, which is something I didn't do on Mango Dead Serious. Mango Dead Serious, which is Mango 1, I just released February 4th, 2024, 2/4/24. It's supposed to be easy to remember. But I just released it, and then I made the trailer after that, and I'm still working on behind the scenes promotional stuff on Mango 1 as we speak, which is part of this update. But the plan for Mango 2 is to have all of that dialed in as we're leading up, so it's going to be more of a proper release. So I'm excited to share more about that. That took a lot of planning, strategizing, and really a part of how to market this whole thing, which is a really big deal to me. I've spent a lot of my career just making things and throwing them out there, but marketing it is a very important part of this whole massive puzzle. So that's Mango 2. Just want to quickly touch on Mango 1. Getting to be 20 minutes here. This is like a podcast episode. Maybe these will be podcast episodes. I don't know. That was the point of this first episode, was just figuring out and seeing what happens. Let's just start recording. And doing these before, I felt like I was leaving so much meat on the bone. But I wasn't touching a lot of things I wanted to touch on. So Mango 1 I just finished the release, the final video in the Inside Mango Dead Serious series, which I've been talking a lot about during this update. It features interviews with me as the creator. This just turned off. It features interviews with the incredible voice actors who were part of Mango Dead Serious. Highly recommend checking that out. But I just finished the editing and sound design video, which was the last video in the series. There's a couple more I'm going to tack on. One about voicing Mango, and then another video about the music, the original song Without You that was written and performed by my friend Leanne Skoda in Mango Dead Serious. But I'm going to add those later. I feel good moving on from Inside Mango Dead Serious right now because the full story is there. And I'm going to be moving on to what I'm calling now the making of Mango Dead Serious, which is kind of the real making of. In the moment, there was a lot of stuff I recorded on set from, the writing stage through the casting stage, auditioning stage, production stage, where I'm talking to camera about what's happening in the moment. And so that's going to be a whole nother layer, diving deeper into the making of Mango Dead Serious. And then after that, we're going to dive even deeper. And I'm going to be sharing basically just like raw behind the scenes footage. So you can be kind of a fly on the wall. Like when I'm working on a scene with an actor, boom, you're just going to watch that whole scene and see how it all unfolds. So that'll be kind of the third tier of that Mango 1 behind the scenes content. And then we're going to do the same thing on Mango 2. So stay tuned. And if you've been listening this whole time, so sorry, I got to get a drink of water. Went 20 minutes without a sip of water here. But if you've been listening this long, then I have another little spoiler alert for you. I've already started thinking about Mango 3. That's the first time I've shared this publicly in any shape or form. So very excited about that. But one thing at a time, Mango 2, and then, I guess wrapping up Mango 1 and all the behind the scenes stuff on Mango 1 and in parallel action working on Mango 2. So that is kind of what's happening next. I think that all basically is the same thing. What I should say is the next immediate thing I'm working on right now, like boom, this week, let's say, is I am going to be jumping into the sound design of Mango 2. So going and pulling sound effects, starting with that first scene, campfire scene, really lovely scene with Mango and Summer. So that's what's happening next. There is so much coming down the pipe, and I think that's a huge reason why I wanted to make a video like this in a series like this, because it's kind of a log. I'm calling it the Captain's Log, and it'll be fun to go back and for at least for me, if no one else is watching it, to kind of document this whole process in a way that allows me to just get things off my chest and talk and spend almost 25 minutes right now just blabbing versus trying to do it in 60 seconds on an Instagram reel or story or YouTube short. So that's the update for now. The plan for these videos is to do it maybe weekly, but at least bi-weekly. I'm going to be trying to post a video on the YouTube channel, a full-length long form video once every week. So that's going to be like a behind the scenes video or an update video. So kind of as I've emerged from production and the really difficult part of post-production, all the dialogue stuff, I feel like I can start focusing some energy on, I guess this would be considered kind of the promotion part of it, or the just additional layers to what's happening with Mango and H90 Productions, which is this little production company that I'm starting in my 1-bedroom apartment. And it's wild to think about how far I've come from Mango Dead Serious, which I started like during the pandemic, and now here with Mango 2. And I'm just so excited about the pre-release plan and the post-release plan. And I can't wait to share more. So that's it. We're right under 25 minutes. I don't know what the full length format is going to be moving forward, but this felt like a very healthy experience, at least for me, to get all this stuff off my chest. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Lots more to come. Yeah, I think that's it.